Mulweni Quintessentials, welcome back to the Kazimla PR Academy. Today I want to talk to you about how narcissism is killing your business as an entrepreneur. We know that narcissists usually don't know that they're narcissists, so perhaps the message might not land with them, but you might be in a relationship with a narcissist. It could be an employer-employee relationship. It could be that your business partner is a narcissist. It could be that you are in a family business and the head honcho is a narcissist, or you are a narcissist and have self-awareness and know exactly what you're doing and are looking for ways to repent and take a different direction. Then this is the video for you. The first sign that you are in a narcissistic business relationship is when you recognize that either your business partner, your employer, or perhaps you're in a succession planning type of situation and one of your parents is leading the business, they are not open to receiving feedback. Essentially, you are in an echo chamber. So it's their way or the highway. They're not open to receiving new, fresh ideas. They're not open to exploring your ideas. They're not open to exploring the team's ideas. It's how they want to do things the way that they've been doing it since the beginning of the business. They are not open to new ideas. They are not open to criticism. They are not open to two-way communication style. It is their way or the highway. Perhaps you've watched the series My Brother's Keeper, and the main character there, Umshengu, is the one who's running Shaba Snacks, and he has his 4 sons, and his 4 sons are literally running behind his tail, looking for validation, looking for approval, looking for a sense of being acknowledged by their father. And one of the ways that they seek this validation, and because they're so desperate for this validation, is succumbing to his whims, his controlling ways, and doing whatever he says that they should do. So narcissists feel their atmosphere, or they surround themselves with yes people. Once you come with an alternative idea, they're not open to it. And in fact, once you are brave enough and they can see that you are vocal enough to say no, you are going to be a target, and they are going to make sure that they make you as uncomfortable as humanly possible, so that you can also be like the other people that are in this, so that you can be like the other people, the yes people. Essentially, they are not open to receiving any type of new ideas, any type of feedback. It's their way or the highway. So essentially, that is the echo chamber. The second sign that you are a narcissist, or that you are in a business relationship with a narcissist, is when you see a serious talent hemorrhage. People do not last in your business. You are forever hiring people, you are forever training new people, but there is no institutional memory. And it's essentially now, instead of you focusing on the strategic parts and the strategic elements and driving the business forward, you spend most of your time with HR looking for people. And when you find the right people, there's a brain drain, there's a hemorrhage of talent, because you do not take into consideration people's ideas. You are not open to listening to new ideas. There is no opportunity for growth. There's no opportunity for change, because you know everything. And when people point out how things need to be done, because they are experts, people have been in their careers for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, but because you have a low self-esteem, you feel threatened, you have some sort of a childhood trauma or wound that is not allowing you to function optimally in your business, you are losing good people. And what ends up happening, you are stuck with people that are very in low ranks in your business. So you'll be working with interns because they don't know any better and they're afraid of you, and they do exactly what they're told. But people that are experts, creatives, people that know their work, they are not going to sit around and tolerate disrespect. They are not going to allow you to subjugate them. People will really stay in a toxic environment. I know definitely there's been a lot of criticism about Gen Zs and how they keep changing jobs and they don't stick around in jobs because they are not willing to tolerate disrespect. They're not willing to tolerate being in situations that are not constructive and that are not developing their careers. So as an entrepreneur, as a big boss, as the head honcho of your business, you need to assess yourself and ask yourself serious questions. If you find yourself constantly hiring and people are not staying and you are hemorrhaging good people, eventually it's going to affect the bottom line of your business. It's going to affect the quality of your work. And what that also means is that you are the one who's going to be left doing operational work when you could be focused on the strategic objectives, because you are so invested in the granular details of the day-to-day work, but you've hired somebody to do the work. Let's say, for example, in my situation, you are the head of you're a managing director for a public relations agency, but you, as the entrepreneur or the head of the business, is threatened by the specialist that you've hired. Now you find yourself writing the press releases, rewriting press releases, working on captions for content calendars. You are doing menial tasks. You're doing menial tasks when you could be out there strategizing, looking for business, doing succession planning for the future of your business, looking for new talent. But because you have this wound and this challenge, and it's also blindsiding you because you believe that you are right and no one else can tell you otherwise, so we can't even provide you with feedback, you waste a lot of time doing insignificant work, losing good people, losing good money, and eventually you lose even the good context that you have with your business, because narcissists can only mask your true character up to a certain while, and then the mask must fall off. So it doesn't only fall off in front of your team, but even your clients. Eventually you will put down your guard, and even your clients will begin to see that there's a problem here, and then you start losing good clients and good money because you are prideful. Essentially, you are really prideful. You are not open to partnerships. The third sign that you are a narcissist and you're running your business into the ground is your blindness to market feedback. I make the example again of Umshengu from My Brother's Keeper, who is so obsessed with the original brand of Shaba Snacks. He's not open to the new marketing strategies. He's stuck in an archaic system and believes that what he was doing in the 1980s is what's going to work in 2026, which is not the case. And also, when the narcissists receive feedback of this nature, they are never wrong, and it's always the customer that's at fault. So it's either you, the team leader, or the one that's heading up the project, or it's the customer's fault, but it's never their fault. And they continue to give feedback that is flawed and that is based on ego, and eventually it becomes the downfall of the business. If you or your business partner or your employer is not willing to receive the feedback, it actually affects the bottom line of the business because of their brittle decision making. They're unable to take themselves out of the business, which is why in the videos that I've done prior to this one, when I talk about succession planning, is that you need to decouple yourself from your business. Your business must exist outside of yourself, because once the business is you and you are the business, you are tempted to lead from a position of ego. It's all about you. It's all about how you started the business 12 years ago. You started it with nothing. You made it what it is today. But for the business to scale, it requires a team. It cannot function outside of a system. It cannot function as a lifestyle-orientated business that is run by a single individual. It's not a one-man show. Unless, of course, you want to be running a one-man show from the start until eternity of your business, then that's the kind of business that you're going to have. But if you want growth and you want scale, you need people, you need teams. And even with AI can only work and be supported with people and with teams at this stage. The future remains unknown. You have to humble yourself and be open to receiving other expert advice and be open to receiving customer advice when it comes to your business. Listen to your business partners, have mentors, have sounding boards. There is wisdom in a multitude of counsel, but if it's just you and you are the idol and you are this God complex in the business, it's definitely going down. And then lastly, number 4 is narcissists tend to lean towards brittle decision making. I've hinted towards this point. They are not open to change. As a result, the business is compromised, and unfortunately what happens is that it's either you as the business partner will have to leave the situation, or you as the employee will have to resign and find another job, or because narcissists are not open to change. They're not open to admitting defeat. That is part of the ruling from a position of ego and not ruling from a position of being a servant leader. So there is no cure for a narcissist, I believe. I believe that it's a spiritual issue. I believe that it's a psychological issue, and the cure really is radical humility. Humble yourself and surrender yourself before the Lord. Then maybe you'll be able to surrender yourself to human beings. Even the psychologists say that you need to go no contact. So it's either you, the narcissist, are willing to pivot and turn towards radical humility. You can get that empowerment through the Holy Spirit, through psychological work with a professional counsel, with using professional counsel. Otherwise, my advice would be, if you are in this situation, you just need to find and make an exit strategy for yourself and try and make it as quietly, try and leave as quietly as possible, because even the exit could be a opportunity for the narcissist to just make your life very difficult and very miserable, and them throwing their toys out the cart and making your work-life environment very toxic. Be able to admit when you have made a mistake, be able to apologize. Narcissists, they really struggle in this area. Be able to apologize, be able to admit that I made a mistake and pivot. Be able to admit that you spoke out of turn, apologize, be genuine about it, and don't do it again. We also don't want vain apologies that are not backed up with action. Have integrity about yourself in your business. And then lastly, have a purpose-driven vision rather than a self-serving vision. Come out of self and exercise radical humility. So thank you, Quintessentials. Happy winter, and I will catch you in the next one. Cheers.